Hey everybody, welcome to, and this is actually day 105 I believe on the CDT, but today's video will do day 104 and 105. Yellowstone. So day 104, Marty and I were camping at Surprise Creek, and we hiked about 6 miles that morning, and we got to a place called Witch Creek. And Witch Creek is a creek that runs by some thermal features, and the thermal features add hot water to the creek, and so the entire creek as it flows is like a warm bath, like I don't know, 100 degrees or whatever. So we stopped there for a little bit and I soaked my feet and my calves. It felt great, and so we stayed there for, I don't know, half an hour, and we continued hiking, but we had to change our plans a little bit. Both Marty and I sent boxes to the Old Faithful post office, and we found out that the people who are running the Old Faithful and the Grant Village post offices retired. So the park has to get a new contract in place for new employees to actually run the post office, and they're not in place. So right now the boxes are going, instead of to Old Faithful Village, they're going up to Mammoth, and that's the main post office for the park, is my understanding. There's no structure in place for Mammoth to bring the packages down, because they would just be having a courier have to run down every day. So essentially Marty and I had to figure out what to do. So from Witch Creek, we actually hiked 6 more miles. Sorry, I forgot. We got to actually pass Heart Lake before Witch Creek, and there was a huge fog on it, so we didn't get to see it up close, but we did get to see it after a little bit of a climb. So I skipped that part, my fault. We actually passed, I think, 2 or 3 lakes yesterday. So after Witch Creek, Marty and I hiked out to the road that actually runs to Grant's Village, and so a surprise quote-unquote town stop, we actually hitched into Grant's Village, and we ate some town food. There wasn't a big selection, but we got some town food for lunch, and we figured out that we had to send our boxes to West Yellowstone. So we asked the post office in Mammoth to forward them. Hopefully they get there before we get to West Yellowstone. And then we figured out, like, we're going to need a few extra days of food since we don't have our boxes. And so today, day 105, we had to do a resupply at Old Faithful Village. We did it at Old Faithful just because it has a larger store than Grant's Village. So after Grant's, we were there a little bit longer than I think we planned to be, but it's nice to be in town eating town food. So we left, I think, at 3:15, and we had about 10 more miles to hike, and so we hiked out and got over to the campground, which was it's called Moose Creek Campground. We were in the meadow, I think. So that was day 104. We didn't see any grizzlies or black bears. We saw a pretty big elk, which was nice. And yeah, I think that was it, mostly for animals. So today, day 105, was a bit more exciting. So we got up for Moose Creek and we started hiking to Old Faithful Village. But on the way, we got to walk through Geyser Basin, which is one of 2 basins that have geysers that I know of here in Yellowstone. There's Geyser Basin and then Upper Geyser Basin. So Upper Geyser Basin's near Old Faithful Village, and that's where Old Faithful is. Geyser Basin has a bunch of thermal stuff going on, and it was fun to walk through there. The trail gets extremely close. There's no, walkways or bars or anything, because I guess the park's like, well, if you hike this far out, then congratulations. We think you can manage the safety of yourself. There were signs, of course. So we got to hike through Geyser Basin. And then a few miles past Geyser Basin is, I think it's called Lone Star Geyser. But unfortunately, we hit there at the wrong time because it goes off about every 3 hours ish. And we were about, I think it was an hour and a half early or 2 hours early. So that was unfortunate. So we didn't get to see Lone Star go off. We continued hiking, and it was fun. Like, the creeks are either cold or warm based on the thermal features nearby, if there are any. So it was fun to like put your poles in the water and pull them out and see the temperatures of the water. We walked by a lake this morning, like early this morning before we got to Geyser Basin. I think it was Shoshone Lake, I think is what it's called, which was just nice and peaceful. It was like really early in the morning, like 6, maybe it's a little after 7. So there was like no waves on the water. It was just nice and calm. So we got to Old Faithful Village, which the trail actually walks through Old Faithful Village, so we didn't have to get a ride. And we ate some more town food. We did our resupply, saw quite a number of different hikers, and we were able to, share some news, that kind of stuff. And then the trail actually follows some of the boardwalk in Upper Geyser Basin. We were there at a time when we couldn't, Old Faithful was not going off, so we didn't get to see that go off, but we did get to walk by it and some other thermal features, so that was fun. Wildlife today, I got to see a couple small snakes, a lizard, and I was surprised to see them. We saw, there was a beautiful shot. I wish the deer had held for like 30 more seconds. There was a beautiful picture of a deer standing in the middle of the stream, and the stream was just picturesque. But the deer ran away when Marty and I walked up. So animal-wise, that was about it. Again, no grizzlies or black bears or anything. This evening, we actually hiked out of Yellowstone Village, and I think it was like a 1,500-foot ascent, and we got over to Summit Lake. So we're camping at Summit Lake this evening, and let me see if this will work. There's a kind of a nice sunset over there. Not sure if that worked or not. I'm kind of sitting low to the ground, so apologies if it didn't work. But we're at Summit Lake tonight, and then we hike out of the park tomorrow. So we're finished with the park. I think we have like 9 or 10 more miles. We're out of the park, and then we start hiking into Montana. I think we get to Montana tomorrow, actually. So we'll hike. I think we'll hike like about 25-ish miles tomorrow. The weather forecast is calling for rain in the afternoon, so I think we want to try to beat that. And then the next day we should get to West Yellowstone, which would be Friday, the 12th of August. And then from there we'll hike north, well, actually I think west, in Montana towards Lima. And then we kind of jump back and forth between the border of Montana and Idaho, and get to Leadore, Idaho, and then from there we swoop back into Montana, and it's a race to Glacier before the snow gets there. So Montana has quite a number of trail miles. I want to say it's like 850 or something like that. So it's not going to be as quick as Wyoming, but we'll see. All right, so I think that's all the updates for 104 and 105. Yep. I can't think of anything else off my head, so I'm gonna go cook my dinner and finish setting up my tent, get to sleep, and I'll talk to you folks tomorrow. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Everyone's healthy. Thanks for watching the videos. The ducks are swimming. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye.